Google just stopped pulling from Reddit. It switched to YouTube, and it happened while you were still writing blog posts. YouTube is now the #1 cited domain in Google AI overviews, 29.5% of all citations. Reddit just dropped from 44% to 20%. The businesses showing up in AI overviews right now, they have YouTube videos covering topics in depth. The ones that don't, they are invisible. And here's the part that makes this even more uncomfortable. Views don't matter. Subscribers don't matter. You don't need a big channel. You just need to be there. In this video, we'll show you exactly what changed, why your current content strategy is built for a world that no longer exists, and what the hell to do about it.
All right, so Google recently started using Gemini 3 in its AI overviews. And with this change came a change in the sites that were frequently being sourced, cited. So before, we had Reddit as the biggest site that was sourced. Yeah. So I mean, everyone talked us to death about like spend time getting on Reddit. That's where it's pulling everything from Reddit because Google bought into Reddit. So they own part of Reddit. Well, now that has changed, and they are sourcing more from another platform that they own entirely, YouTube. So this is something that we've been onto for a long time. We were just saying right before we came on that YouTube is very underutilized, even though it seems like a very crowded space, and it is if you're trying to be an influencer. But for most businesses, there's still just so much potential. So we're going to dive into the numbers and what this means. Okay, so #1 cited domain in Google AI overviews. It's now up to 29.5% of all citations. So 30% of all citations is YouTube. Okay, yes.
Wow.
So previously, Reddit had 44%, and now they're down to 20%. So it's not to say that Reddit isn't important, but it's losing. It's losing ground, and YouTube is gaining. Where it gets very interesting, 94% of YouTube AI citations go to long-form videos, not shorts. So this is, this should tell you a little bit about your strategy. As you're trying to get AI visibility, if it's your main goal, you want to produce longer content. Usually, I think this is, for most people, they just reposition their longer content into shorts. But when you're thinking about that part of it, long-form content is what you need to focus on.
Question. So does YouTube, when Google is sourcing or citing YouTube as a source, is it just reading the title of the video, or has it got a full understanding?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I don't know that the first step, if it first identifies the title, and I'm not sure of that, but we will get to what it's actually capable of now.
Okay, that's
cool. Sweet spot is 10 to 20 minutes. I think this is probably a relief for most people. It's not hard to create a 10 to 20 minute video. If it was an hour, a lot of people would be going, forget it, I'm not doing that. Now, what I think is the most interesting thing is that popularity metrics like views, likes, and subscribers have near zero correlation.
Ooh.
So it does not matter. You can have a brand new channel. What matters is that you cover that topic in depth. So let's say you are a personal injury attorney, and you typically just create a blog post on what happens when you get in a car accident in Missouri or whatever your city is, or that's a state, but whatever your city is. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't create that blog post, but it should probably be, the primary focus should be YouTube. You walking through what happens when this happens. Here's every step you need to take. Because Google will find that for its AI overviews. And when someone is searching, what do I do when I get in a car accident in, St. Louis? There's a great chance it's going to find your video and cite you. And then that's direct visibility. So very interesting.
Is the AI overview summarizing that information within its text format, and then just referring to the YouTube video as the source of that text-based information in the AI overview?
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see the video in the AI overview, so like a direct link to the video. There's quite a few times I've seen the AI overview, and you click the little drop down, and then it's got the actual like video thumbnail on the side, and jump over to that.
Yeah, because I'm recently have purchased some security cameras that will require me to like drill the cable to the outside of the house. So I was searching, how do you drill wires outside your house? And I got an AI overview, and I went straight to the YouTube video that it sourced for me. But so I'm really interested to know what we talked about a minute ago as well. How much of that inside that video does it know? And I imagine also freshness potentially has something to play in this, but I'll get to it.
So, and I think like YouTube has been like pretty prevalent in Google results for a long time, right? You search for something, the videos showed up pretty highly. But I think what's cool here is that you've now got like, you had the AI overview, and it's directly answering the question you've asked. It's given all that information. So you already know that information is in the video. You don't have to click over and like wonder if it's actually covered it. You know it's in there. And now if you want to learn more about it, you click over. So I think that's quite interesting. Okay, so only 38% of the AI overview citations come from the top 10 in Google. So combine that with the fact that you don't need to have like high metrics, views, likes, subscribers, that kind of thing. This, I think, kind of levels the playing field for smaller businesses. You don't like, obviously it still helps to be in the top 10 in Google, but if you're not, and you have a YouTube channel that maybe it doesn't have a lot of traction yet, there's still room for you to compete. I would imagine the best strategy is going to be focus on still the lower competition things. Like, don't go after the most competitive terms in your industry. So that's probably always going to be relevant. But I think this is should be very encouraging for smaller businesses that have, or maybe are a bit behind the big dogs in their space. Okay, now your earlier question: what does Google actually? How do they actually process this information? Before, they would pull the transcript, they'd go through the transcript, then they try and understand it that way. But recently, the VP of Search at Google confirmed that the LLMs now understand audio and video beyond transcription. So it can actually watch the video, understand what it's about, and use that information. It doesn't need to just go through the transcript.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's I don't know exactly what that means. If that's for when you're thinking about how you're going to create your video, I don't know if it changes your strategy at all, but it does give it like more understanding of the nuances and what you're talking about and stuff.
That's really, really interesting. And I think as well, what's also interesting is it means that we're getting more like bang for our buck when we partake in these like content producing activities. So if you are a guest on a podcast, or you co-host a webinar on like somebody else's YouTube channel, all of that stuff is just huge amounts of information beyond just the transcript. They also watch the video, understand the video, you're in the video. It's like, it's really, really multi beneficial, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So what does this actually mean? I think, content marketers have talked for a long time about the importance of podcasts, the importance of YouTube. I think there really should be a shift in the priority. I think it should be podcast, YouTube content as the number one, and your blog content and your social media content basically breaking down that, or at least your blog content. Your blog content, I don't think should be the number one focus anymore. I think it's got to be your YouTube and podcast content, and then you can easily, this is a better process anyway. If you are a company that, and this is not the norm, I can tell you from years of working in content marketing, most companies, they'll hire someone to write the content. Maybe it's an agency, maybe it's a freelancer, maybe it's someone in-house, but it's still not the person with all the experience. So if you're a medical clinic or a law firm, like you're writing about like topics that require a lot of knowledge about that particular service, or legal aspects, medical aspects. But still, a lot of these companies, they hand off this content, and then they just go and research it, right? It's the old, you Google it, you summarize the top 3 posts. Like, that's sort of the content blueprint. But this is a better way to do it. So good content marketers would always like interview the experts, right? They would sit down with them and ask them all these questions, and then they create the content. But now you can say like, the content writer's job is to turn this YouTube video that we've created into a blog content, and they don't have to go and do all the research. It's all right there in the video. So I think this is a better focus overall.
And it's going to provide more ROI as well, I think, isn't it? Like you said, if this is where if this is where Google is favoring to pull from, then that's where we need to be producing, isn't it?
100%.